Alright, here is your lesson 13 project help video. So in the project for lesson 11, you found the quotients and remainders for two division problems. The result of division in each case involves the remainder written as a fraction over the divisor. Use r1 of x and ax of x equals x plus 6, as well as r2 of x and b of x equals x plus 3 to compare the expressions r1 of x divided by a of x and r2 of x divided by b of x. What is the LCD for the two expressions? So remember that LCD means least common denominator. So we first need to look back at lesson 11 and we need to know r1 of x. So r1 of x for me from lesson 11 was 9. And I also need to know my r2 of x. Remember, these are your two remainders that you got. My r2 of x is negative 19. You have to go back to lesson 11 in order to look up what those are, and then you can start with this problem. So let me write r1 of x divided by a of x. That would be my 9 over a of x is x plus 6. And then r2 of x is negative 19 divided by b of x, which is x plus 3. So now I want to know what's my least common denominator. So I have x plus 6 and I have x plus 3 are my two denominators currently. So to make my least common denominator, I'm just going to take those two and multiply them together. Since they don't have anything that I can factor out that's in common, like I don't have a 2 I can factor out because there's no 2 in front of my x. So the only thing I can do is just multiply them together, and that becomes my least common denominator. So x plus 6 times x plus 3, that's my least common denominator for the two expressions. So refer to your answer from question 1. What is the numerator of the expression that is equivalent to r1 of x over a of x and has the LCD as its denominator? Well, let's first remember r1 of x over a of x is 9 over x plus 6. And then our LCD, remember, is x plus 6 times x plus 3. So let's take a look. We have x plus 6 in our denominator, so that means we need x plus 3. So that means we're going to multiply the top there by x plus 3 and the bottom by x plus 3 because that's the same as multiplying by 1, so we're not changing it. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to distribute my 9 to the x plus 3. So I'm going to end up with 9x plus 9 times 3 is 27. And that would be over my LCD of x plus 3 times x plus 6. So let me reread my question. It says, what is the numerator of the expression? So I just want to know the numerator. So remember that the numerator is the number that's on top, or the quality that's on top of your division. So this here would be my numerator. That would be my answer, 9x plus 27. Refer to your answer from question 1. What is the numerator of the expression that is equivalent to r2 of x over b of x and has the LCD as its denominator? So we're going to do a similar thing to what we just did in the previous problem, except now we're using r2 of x over b of x. So you first got to recall what your r2 of x over b of x is. So negative 19 over x plus 3. Then we need to know, remember that our LCD is x plus 6 times x plus 3. So we have x plus 3 in our denominator already, so that means we need to multiply times x plus 6 over x plus 6 in order to get our LCD here on the bottom. So if I go ahead and I distribute my negative 19 to x, so I get negative 19x, negative 19 to 6 gives me a negative 114. Remember, if you need to use a calculator, use a calculator. And that would be all over my LCD of x plus 6 times x plus 3. So let's reread the question. It asks for what is the numerator. So remember, our numerator again is the number on top here. So this would be my answer. The negative 19x minus 114 would be my numerator. Refer to your answer from questions 1 to 3. What is the sum of r of x over a of x and r2 of x over b of x? Well, if I look back at question 2, r of x, when I have it over the LCD is 9x plus 27 divided by x plus 6 times x plus 3. and I want to know the sum of these two here, because that's what it asked me. So plus r2 of x over b of x from question 3 was negative 19x minus 114 over our LCD of x plus 6x plus 3. So remember, when you add two fractions together, as long as they have the same denominator, you can go ahead, add what's on top, and then the denominator stays as what it is. So since we have the same denominator because we found the LCD, we can go ahead and we can add across the top. So we're going to end up with 9x plus 27 minus our 19x minus 114 all over our LCD. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to simplify our numerator. So we need to add our like terms. So we have like terms there. So we have that we have a 9x and a negative 19x. So 9x minus 19x is a negative 10x. And then we have a positive 27 and a negative 114. So positive 27 minus 114 is a minus 87. And remember, that's all still over our LCD of x plus 6, x plus 3. So this is my sum of the two together. Negative 10x minus 87 divided by x plus 6 over x plus 3. That would be the sum of r1 of x divided by a of x and r2 of x divided by b of x. So that is it for the project 13. Remember, if you need any help, go ahead and contact me and I will help you out.